I'm so happy to be back. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but I feel like I haven't done readings like this in a little bit, and so I'm just stoked to be here. Do you feel the energy? I feel the energy, man. We just give thanks. How you doing? Things look a little bit different around here. I did some moving of things around, as there's always creative projects in the works, and I create, just like the creator creates. Ladybug and self-assurance. Ladybug, some cultures or places call it, what do they call it? How come I can't remember all of a sudden? A ladybug. There's another name that they call it. Self-assurance. Thank you, Divine Team, for flowing through me. I am an open channel to pass the message from the divine, from the Good Shepherd, from the Ruach HaKodesh to the people. Wow. Whew. Okay. This is probably why I love it, because I get to like channel the divine energy, which is like the best. It's just like the best. And then I get to bring the good news. And I'm also picking up on whoever is here. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for every returning subscriber. And if you're new here, I'm Brittany. This is SeedSoilWater. And, I've been a divine one since before I was here. Since I was a little girl, I always was flowing in the spirit. And I've gone through, just like every person that's walking out a human experience, I've gone through my own share of tower moments, my own share of pollution and figuring this whole thing out. And every single thing, as we all know, when you allow the divine to move through your life and you allow the divine to lead, you look back and realize that the divine has this miraculous way of taking everything, even if it was a complete shit show, and like reformatting it into something beautiful. And sometimes the shit shows were on purpose, believe it or not. So that's a real weird one for our egoic minds to sort out. But anyway, okay, so back to this. Ladybird, that's what they call it. Ladybird, ladybug, self-assurance. And then the next two cards that came out are ego transformation and justified, paid in full. Whew, wow. I'm feeling like, man, how do I explain these words? For the collective that I'm speaking to, what I'm hearing is like, it's okay now. Like, it's okay now for you to be self-assured. This is such a beautiful message. By the way, I don't even know what it's titled yet because I haven't posted it, but I just recorded it last night. There's going to be, check out the Friday night Flower and Fire podcast episodes. They are the format where I am like not sitting and talking to the camera, but I am rather just recording a message that's coming through. So there's a message that's related to this, and of course it's so funny. I came on right now feeling the nudge to carry some of that message into this, but then I was like, no, I literally, my ego brain was like, I'm not gonna come and say the same message again because I just said that message and I don't want people to I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't want to. And then the cards come out literally like spelling out the message in a different way. So it is a little bit different, but go check out that message for the full, it was literally like a full on download that I got over the weekend while I'm with my babies. So I'm like playing with my kids while trying to write down, these downloads that are coming through. And, so go check that out separately. It will be on a Flower and Fire podcast episode, which releases every Friday. So if you're laying around on a Friday night not knowing what to do, you can go and we can kick it, you and me, we can hang out and we'll revelate together, and you can leave your comments. And shout out to everybody that comments. That's a huge part of what tells YouTube to serve my videos that they're relevant, helpful, and that people like them. Is by commenting and liking and sharing and saving. So please do all of those above 444 while I looked up if you're interested in helping this content reach more people. I really want these messages to reach whoever they're meant for, and I'm also in surrender mode in terms of like, I'm eager to see this channel hit 10,000 just because I believe that the spirit has things to say and it's helpful and illuminating to the path. But I also am, you know, it's more important that the right messages reach the right people. So anyway, however you feel the nudge to interact in that, 519, as I looked up. Cheers. I hope you have one of your favorite beverages today, a healthy one of some sort. Maybe it's not perfectly healthy, but hopefully it's not totally damaging either. Okay, so the message here, let's get to it. You can be resting in self-assurance now. You have been through it. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry for all the things that you had to go through, but this is part of that message as well. Like, you had to, what I was hearing from that message is you had to go through rounds and rounds of life, and you had to go through as many rounds as it would take for it to be confirmed and revealed that you really, like, it's just like every round of season or whatever you want to call it, round of life, it's like tuning a guitar. It tunes you in a little bit more and more with your intuition, with that voice, that inner voice, with your inner knowing, you know. And you can rest in that self-assurance because you, like, what I'm so speaking just from personal experience. There was a time where everything was upside down. Like, culturally, what I had been taught, I was like, that's not the whole story, you know, and it wasn't completely in alignment with the internal spirit that I was experiencing. But I didn't want to be like, I didn't know, I was like, who am I to think that I'm right, you know, like. And by the way, then I this is the next part of that message where, and this is how you'll know you're listening to the referenced one, is that then I was like a fish in a small pond, and this was the picture that was given, was then like, imagine from an aerial view looking down, and there's like a fish in a puddle, and then there's a whole lake right here, like a huge lake, and all it takes is a little bit more rainfall, and the rainfall is revelation, and the rainfall is study, and the rainfall is more time in the spirit, more time in, you know, stillness, allowing the spirit to actually reach you, more time in a little bit of like, you know, like doing a little bit more spiritual disciplines like fasting and, you know, working out, getting your vessel tuned in so that you can actually hear. So the rain of the revelation comes down, and now it floods the puddle a little bit more, and now that fish is able to make it into that big pool. And so anyway, my point being, at the time, imagine I'm the fish in the puddle, and I'm like, this puddle, what I'm hearing about life and what I'm hearing from the spirit is like, this puddle is not all there is to this thing. You know what I'm saying? But everybody in the puddle with me is like, nope, this is all there is. Nope, this is all there. Nope, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is the thing. And I'm going, well, you know, and so I just was quiet for a long time. 818. So I was just like, well, you know, cause like, who am I to freaking think I know what I'm talking about, especially if everybody in my puddle is like, nope, this is the thing, and this is it. And I'm like, okay. Well then, you know, pursuing the mystery because I am in love with the writer of the mystery, you know, like it's like that call. It reminds me of that movie, you know, that whole one. It's like, you know, that sound just keeps pulling. And so then to step into this big lake, and it's like, okay, yeah, you know. So anyway, part of the message was, gosh, this is so wild. This self-assurance and ego transformation. So like, you can be assured, what the message is for you today, for the collective that I'm speaking to, it's like, you can have humble self-assurance. Like, it's not coming from a place of pride or from like, I told you so, you know, like, because that once you enter into that vein, in which, by the way, it's so hard not to be in that vein, especially when people are sitting there telling you that you're wrong. But what the visual I was getting about the fish in the pond is like, you have to remember that the fish in those ponds that have not pursued or gotten to the part of the revelation yet to even know that there's this giant lake, excessive revelation and fullness of life and victory and liberation and abundance and beauty. The point is, they're going to argue with you in that, from that pond, 10:10. They're going to argue from that pond and they're going to argue with you with the utmost of assurance in themselves, because they're like, I know that this pond is what it is. I'm looking around and I'm seeing that the pond is what it is. And you're going, or like the puddle, puddle, pond, small. And it's like, and what I was hearing is like, that's the extent of their revelation, and they're very sold on it, and they can argue with all of their might into it because it literally is all that they've been exposed to. And so, and going into that deep mystery, it's messy, it's dangerous. The more that you go and the faster that you go, the more things in the 3D might kick up dust. It'll probably really disrupt your life. Like, you have to really want it. You have to want the mystery more than you want the familiar in order to actually go for it. And it's disruptive. Man, there's so many different directions that the revelation is going right now, and I'm trying to compute into human. The point is, like, there's like, if you're in, like, for example, if you're in it with people in this 3D realm, and you like are committed to the people, and like, or they're your family, or they're whatever, By the way, let's just go real quick. For those who are the biblical ones, Yeshua, they were like, there's two things. One, Yeshua didn't actually just drop everything to serve everybody. He pursued the mystery. He pursued the relationship with the Spirit every single time. There were times where they were like, when he really started to get known, the disciples are like, the people want you to be over here. And he was like, cool, I'm going to the mountain to like go meditate. Like, he was not enslaved to the people, believe it or not. So when religion tells you that your job is to be a slave here, trust me, I get it. Like, I get it that it's written 1, 2, 3, 4. I get it that Paul was like, I'm a bond servant of Christ. Like, I understand when they're like, I am a slave to Christ. But what the key is they weren't saying that to be like, I am enslaved and obligated out of a place of forced obligation and self-deprecation, even though they experienced a lot of they experienced a lot of what I was just talking about. They experienced a lot of that disruption, a lot of chaos from around them, because of the way that they were shifting atmospheres at such a dramatic rate, and it was tearing down the systems of man at such a dramatic rate, both in the government as well as in religion. Okay? So if this sounds familiar, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Okay. So yeah, they experienced all of that. But the point is, when they were saying like, I am a bondservant of Christ, I am enslaved, I'm a slave to Christ. They're saying that with the revelation that Christ sets you free. For if the Son has set you free, surely you are free indeed. It's not from this place of communist China slavery. It's not that. It's not from a place of self-deprecating religious slavery. It's not that. 14:14. It is from a place of understanding the internal revelation, and you want to be a slave to Christ, like, because it's like, yo, I know him so deep, I'm free like that, and like, yeah, I experience all the things that I'm experiencing in the 3D, but it all is from that deep root system knowledge of knowing how free I am. And that means I'm not enslaved to freaking dogma. I'm not enslaved to freaking religion. I'm not enslaved to anything, because I am a slave in Christ. And the whole purpose of what he did You know, should you be in alignment with that story, and if that's where you sink your teeth in, I'm speaking to you, letting you know that like it's actually supposed to be setting you free, not enslaving you further. And there's a lot of service. Of course, look at me here right now. I'm serving. But like this is me being me. Like this isn't out of any obligation. This isn't out of like, this is me flowing in my divine identity because it sets me free. And so anyway, it should feel like that. It should feel like that. And in that okay, so everything you went through was for the purpose of the ego transformation. Ego isn't bad. Ego is a part of it. It's to transform it and to kind of show ego, like, it's like kind of like training a puppy or a toddler, which, you know, it's like, okay, you know, ego, yes, you are here and you're an important part here, but you're not driving, like, and you're not the boss, and you're not, and we just need to, you know, like, it's okay to sit calm, you know, like, that's, you know, so you were going, all of these things that we go through is for that ego transformation. And this message is saying that you can be, you can have self-assurance in the revelation in which you've arrived at, because it was all for something. And justify, paid in full. I'm listening. I'm not just like staring off into space. What I'm hearing is like the path that's in front of you. The path that's in front of you is going, you know, you're going to find that everything is balanced and paid in full. Karmic cycles are ending. Oh, okay. Okay. Apologies, it's like leaf blower day apparently around here. Karmic cycles are ending. You had to go through all of those different relationships and experiences in order to arrive to where you are. And to like find out, to attune to the voice, you know, to attune to your inner intuition, to know what you know, and know that you know it, you know. And there were times where we all probably had to sit back quietly and be like, I'm not going to sit and argue with everybody in the small pond, and because who am I to say I'm right, you know? Only narcissists are that willing to argue with everybody and be like, I know I'm right, you know, like, because crazy talk. It's like, how can you be that self-confident in like in just your brain? Like, how can you be that confident in just your brain? Like, that's crazy talk, you know? It's like literally insanity. How could anybody be that confident in that they're right? But what I'm hearing is, for this collective 1818, you can be okay. Like, it's okay now to trust in your inner voice, in, you know, in the spirit, in your intuition, whatever language you use to describe it, and that you can trust that, you know, in the ego transformation that you've been through. And by the way, part of that whole being a slave to Christ, or being, you know, like being liberated, is like also not being the people pleaser cultural like way that they've trained us all how to be slaves, you know. So get ready. I'm sure you already know, but like it's disruptive to the slave culture to not be a slave. It irritates people a little bit, especially when they see you being free and they're like, how do they do that? Like, you just keep being free, and then you go through these freaking puddles of pollution, or not puddles, but like bubbles. This was the next part of that message, third part. The third part of that message, we might as well get into it while we're here, was that I was shown this image. So imagine a man walking on a journey, like on a timeline like this, and then there's like a bubble here, like a cloud, and then like a cloud, and then like a cloud. And so this was this revelation where it was like, for those of us, especially lately, I feel like it's been like, boom, boom, we're just transmuting so much faster. So therefore we're just, how do I explain it? I don't know. Okay, so the vision is this. So the guy's walking, and it's like cloud and and as we go, we have that inner fire within us. It's coming. Hold on. Like a flame of fire, a mighty rushing wind, and a flame of fire, and the again. Come like a flame of fire, a mighty rushing wind, na 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 na. Come burn us again. Sorry, I don't know the words, and my phone is right here, so I can't look them up. Come like a flame of fire, something like a rushing wind. I know it's Katie Torwalt or something. This is freaking years ago. I'm digging deep in the files. Okay. Come like a flame of fire, and a rushing wind, come burn us again. I can't remember the words. I apologize, but you can look up it. I'm pretty sure it's just called Flame of Fire. So if you want to go find that song, if it's resonating with your spirit, it's called Flame of Fire, Katie Torwalt, I believe. Oh yeah. The vision of the guy walking, and so it's like we're walking, and we enter into clouds of pollution. The pollution is whatever you want to, like, we can call it about a lot of different things. Like, it's like, and we run into it in like people, you know, it's our atmospheric, like, auric field. And that's where, you know, we run into people and it's like, ugh, you know, like chaos, escapism, pollution, like, and those of us that are leveling up, and that are we're also encountering like the resistance spiritually within our own selves. So heck, we could even be the ones sometimes that like are carrying this like wrestling match, you know? And then, but the point is we transmute it through the spirit because of the flame of fire that's burning within us and that never goes out. And that was part of this whole, the self-assurance and the ego transformation is starting to arrive to that point where you're like, I've been through a lot. I keep bouncing back, and I'm actually not like delusional to the point to think it's just me. Like, so there's, you know, like the spirit that's within me is truly like the one that keeps going, you know, and therefore I can have some confidence in that. It gives you the confidence to lead according to your, you know, your inner knowing, as opposed to listening to the people around you that may be at their own point in the journey, and they might think, let's see how to explain it. There might be people that are like, I've been in this puddle longer than you, and you've been in the lake, you know, and it's like, yeah, you might have been around longer, but like I've seen more. I've seen more. 23. So, and it's not about this like tug of war of like who can prove. It's just a matter of like, it comes with a shalom peace, knowing that you finally got to this point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you about it. You can just keep going on your way. They were arguing with Yeshua about everything. Okay. So the point is, this was the third part of that message was like, when we feel like, what I was hearing is like when you, because sometimes on this journey you're like, man, I'm like high vibe one day, and then it's like low vibe another day, and then like what is like the yo-yo or the roller coaster or like the up and down, like, and it's like, it's because you're on your path and you're running into these pollution bubbles, and you are the, what did I write? You're the walking burning fire. You're the walking burning fire. Burning fire walking. You're the burning fire walking. I think is how I wrote it. Oh, here it is. You're the burning fire walking. So, what did I say? You are the burning fire walking. So anyway, the point is, that's why it feels like high vibe, low vibe, high vibe, low vibe. It's because you're just constantly on your way and you're transmuting as you go. You're transmuting as you go. You're the burning fire walking. You're the burning fire walking. And you're transmuting these, you know. And then there are people who... There are some people who are overwhelmed by the clarity. They're overwhelmed by the clarity that comes from you coming through the space and burning up all the pollution, and now they can see clearly. They're like used to being surrounded by this cloud of pollution and smoke, and then you come in with your refining fire within you, like you burn up and transmute the atmosphere, and now everything can be seen clearly. And there are some people that are overwhelmed by that, like it's too much to see everything as it is. And so they're like, I need to go back into this cloud of smoke, pollution, where I can't really see what's going on because like ignorance is bliss kind of thing. And it's just more comfortable for me to like not have to deal with what I see when all of this shit is transmuted and clarified in the atmosphere. But what we all learn on the way is that it's worth it. Like, yeah, you might have some shit to deal with up front. It might be uncomfortable and inconvenient and disruptive to the status quo that you're living in. But it's like, what are you here for? Are you here for the pursuit, or are you here for remaining in your toxic bubble of the status quo? Okay, I think I'm going to leave this here, and we'll see if Spirit wants to flow another message separately. But congratulations, you should be really you should be so proud of yourself. And there is like a healthy kind of pride, not like that toxic pride, but just like you should have gratitude for yourself. You should be delighted in yourself that you've made it like through all of this, and that you're somebody here that's listening to these types of messages. It goes to show 2720, that really stuck out to me. It goes to show that you are on the pursuit, so if you're wondering, or if your ego is being like, are you even that person? Like, yeah, the fact that you're here trying, you're listening to these messages and you're not running from them says a lot. The people who are the ones that are hiding in the pollution bubbles are not listening to these messages, and they definitely didn't make it this far, because it's like, it's hard to hear, and you don't want to hear it like if you want to just remain in the comfort of your pollution bubble. So okay, so if you did make it this far, let's do an actual activation out loud with your voice. Remember that your voice and your handwriting. Ooh, I'm hearing double. Okay, this is important. The spirit, the whatever is that called? Like this ringing in the ears, like high-pitched squealing, is a spiritual sign, like that your spirit team is like, pay attention. Okay, so pay attention. If you're not, come back. Say this out loud. 2828. Say, I choose to opt in to my highest timeline, according to my divine identity, according to my highest purpose, for the good of the cosmos. According to the good shepherd, the creator, the highest white light. Let it be so. And you can say something even more. So like, let's say that again, because that was a lot. Just like, I choose to opt in to my highest timeline. I choose to opt in to my divine identity. I choose to surrender to my divine team that is here for my good. Let it be so. I invite the truth with a capital T to encounter me and to reveal to me everything I need to know. This is one that I have written, that's why I'm looking over there. I choose to receive the consistency of flow state in my divine identity. We'll just leave it at that. I choose to receive the consistency of flow state in my divine identity. Let it be so. Okay. Wow, what an amazing message. Yeah, like I said, check out the Flower and Fire on Fridays. And then Tuesday and Thursdays is when I typically release these readings. And congratulations on the amazing level up. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to be on the journey. I'm excited that you're on the journey. Subscribe, all of the things to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Check the links. There are opportunities for the journey journal. Like, where is it? I write in it. So it's, oh, of course it's I was, like I told you guys, I was rearranging some things for some creative projects, but this is the beautiful journey journal that I was like, I just love it. It says your divine memoir. So this is like, the whole point is that this is your journey. This is your journal to record your divine memoir. And it is separated into categories so that you can, look at me being such a physics nerd, writing down frequencies and stuff. I love it. Oopsies. What I'm trying to show you is the different sections that it's sectioned off in. So like this is actually in sections so that you're like, what was that dream I had? And instead of having to, if you're like me and you have 17 journals and they're all mixed up through time, and if you're like, wait, I had that dream about the ladybug and this message now came through about the ladybug, what was that dream? Instead of having to try and search through pages and pages being like, when was that? I don't know. Instead, you come through and it narrows it down a little bit and you can look through the dreams and visions section of your journey journal. And you're like, okay, now I know, like, it's in the dreams section. So like, I'm just going to go to my journal and I'm going to look at my dreams section, and it will narrow down your search process. And it's also just good practice, by the way. Like when you have like revelation coming through, like realizations and revelations. I'm not showing you guys what I actually wrote, but I do write in it. So when you're getting flow and whatever, like, write in there and then remember to go back and actually read it. Like make it a part of your practice to review your journal, because that was the other thing, is when I was being like reprogrammed, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When I was being transformed by the renewing of my mind, it was so foreign than like the earth programming. A lot of it was so new information to me. I had to go and review it in order to like learn it. We are always being programmed, okay? We need to recognize that. We're being programmed a lot of the time subliminally through media. We're being programmed through religion. We're being programmed through culture. We're being programmed. And so you have to go after the purest truth, the purest white light in order to find out what's real. There's a lot of lies that are being told, 33. There's a lot of lies that are being told that we're being told is truth. There's a lot of like missions out there that are like, that should be for us. Like, it's like, there's no way that's like conspiracy, you know, like there's no way, like it doesn't make any sense that all of these systems are actually created to harm us. Like there's no way, right? And then when you find out like, oh shit, like, it's crazy. Okay, so let me read this. As your daily trust adventure unfolds, write down each heart-shaping experience in this topic-organized journey journal. Add this to your daily practice, recording and reviewing those moments that are collectively writing your divine life story. Never again lose sight of a life-rocking revelation truth, an illuminating scripture that lights your path, or the spirit-lifting song that got you through the day. These moments of light are illuminating your path and will create the typo. It's so funny. Record that peculiar dream in the night and the vivid vision for the future, reminding you to believe for more and think in a new way. Never forget the miracle that proved there is someone looking out for you, or the message that told you more about who that someone is. Ooh. Recall the revelations that unveil glimpses of your divine identity, and record every heaven-sent message that breathed new life into your adventure. Looking back through your entries, you will see how the moments came together like puzzle pieces, connecting through time, composing a brilliant love story between you and your creator. I could cry. Don't miss your chance to write your own divine memoir, to treasure and to share. Wow, I forgot about that part. When I was first given this idea, it was like, the idea was you hold on to this and then you get to share it with like whoever is in your future. So like imagine yourself being this old person and being like, listen, like I had the craziest journey here in the 3D. Like here's my, I want to write down, I want to show you all these miracles that happened. I want to show you all of these like atmospheric shifting, crazy quantum physics breaking like moments that happened. And like, so if you have kids, or you know, then you can imagine sharing it with your grandkids or whoever ends up coming upon your path that needs to know that there's more to this than just what it looks like on the outside. And by the way, like that, the fact that there's a typo there would, in my old self, I probably would have like cried or like been so like treacherously embarrassed or something, but it's like I know my path, and I'm like sitting here like creating things in the middle of the wreckage between getting bombed, you know, between tower moments, like, and so it's kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, there's a typo there, but look, this is here, you know, like this made it. Like it's crazy to think about the things that have survived, and like yeah. So anyway, I just believe that we are really, like, for those that are under the sound of my voice, we are on the precipice of a really exciting new beginning, and a lot of, okay, that scripture where it's like the enemies that you saw before, you will see them no more. Like those issues that you were like dealing with, like there comes a point where it's like done. It's broken now, you know, like you won't have to freaking fight that same battle. It's like in wrestling where you have so many rounds, you know, it's like sometimes it feels like I'm doing this again, you know, like, and then there finally comes a time where it's like match, like done, like you're done with that one, you know, and like, yeah, there's going to be new levels and new things to learn. And that's just part of why we're here. And that's part of the endurance producing experience, adventure. It's funny. It's kind of like physical, you know, like if we all stop using our bodies, our, like, what do they say, if you don't use it or lose it, like, so it's the same kind of idea where it's like spiritually we're going to continue experiencing things that will build up our spirit man, but also there are times where like you finally have like, you're done with that particular battle, and now you are ready and your endurance is built for something bigger and better. And like what felt so taxing before, it's like, oh, that's nothing, you know, like you've wrestled that guy so many times, it's like, oh, freaking all I have to do is like stick my arm out, you know. So anyway, okay, be blessed, be well, be free. This is on Amazon. You can also check it in the links below. There are also ways to donate to the channel. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful, and I speak a blessing of multiplication. Everything that you send out, may it be multiplied back to you, and it is so. Be blessed, be well, be free.